All right, so we're talking about this stuff. So that's A, sine, cosine of B times x minus C plus D. So amplitude, that's my A. But it's also noted that it's the absolute value of A. B, that's my frequency. It's also noted that it's the absolute value of B. Period is 2 pi divided by B. Phase shift, that's the C, although be careful because it's the opposite of C. And then D is my vertical shift. So let's look at what we got. Look at what we got there. So amplitude, what's the amplitude for the first one? It's 4. Right? Frequency. Frequency is a number times x. Well, there isn't a number times x. So if there isn't a number, then it's 1. And then what's 2 pi divided by 1? It's just 2 pi. And then the phase shift. The phase shift is the opposite of what I see inside the parentheses. So minus pi over 4 means phase shift is pi over 4. And then vertical is what I see. So that's 2, or plus 2. Let me start it all over again. Over here, what's my amplitude? It is not -2, it is +2. -2 is wrong. Frequency is the number times x. So that's 3. The period is 2 pi divided by the frequency, which is 3. That can't be reduced. So 2 pi over 3 is my frequency, or is my period. And then phase shift is the number in the parentheses that's added or subtracted. Well, there isn't one. So that's none or NA. Make sure you follow directions. Write none or not applicable, N/A, for transformations that don't exist, or that are in essence 0. Right? Vertical shift is just -1. So this one's a little tricky. So first we'll go with the easy part. There is no number in front of sine, so that's a 1. And then what's the frequency? The number times x, that's 2. So then what's the period? That's 2 pi over 2. The 2's cancel each other out, and I'm going to just be left with pi. Now I'm going to jump ahead to the fact that there's nothing out here, so there's none or N/A. The phase shift, here's the problem. Look at what I got. See, my B is on the outside of my parenthesis, but it's on the inside here. Well, let's make this look like that. So I'm going to pull the 2 out. So that means I'm going to factor out a 2. So in essence, I'm dividing by 2. Well, if I divide by 2, what's left? Well, right here, 2x divided by 2 is just going to be x. And now I got plus pi. Well, wait a minute. Where's the 2? Because I got to divide out a 2. Well, there isn't one. So when I take pi and I divide out by 2, it's just going to be pi divided by 2. And so if it's x plus pi over 2, what's my phase shift? The opposite of what I see. So it's going to be negative pi over 2. So that's the tricky part. All right, speaking of tricky, let's go back, way back in the time. All right, so find the coefficient of x squared of 1 plus 4x to the 6th power. So we need to start with Pascal's triangle. So there's my Pascal's triangle for the 6th row. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 6, 15, 20, 15, 6, 1. So that's the first thing I need. 1, 6, 15, 20, 15, 6, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So if I want x to the second power, now I need to think about what position that's in. Well, there's no x here, so x is right there. That's the second one. So remember that when I'm doing this, I'm going to go with red. So my first, I'm going to have a to the 6th power, b to the 0. And then I'm going to have, this next one is going to be a to the 5th power, and that's going to be b to the 1st. My third term is going to be a to the 4th power. My second term is going to be b to the 2nd. So you see what's going on here. So if a to the 6th, that's 1 to the 6th. And that's 4x to the 0. Well, that's nothing. Well, I'm looking for x squared, so I'm really just looking for the second term. So this one is nothing. Then right here, where's b to the 1st power? That's 4x. Here, b to the 2nd power, that is 16x squared. Because I take 4 to the 2nd power, then x to the 2nd power. So then if I look, so I'm looking at the third term now. 1, 2, 3. So that's 16x squared times the Pascal's triangle version. So that's 15. And 15 times 16, that's 30. That's 9. That's 1. That's 5. That's 240. So the coefficient is 240. So I'm going to do the same thing right here. It's going to be a little more complicated, but that's all right. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. Let's get Pascal's triangle first. So we're looking at 7. 7 is 1, 7, 21. 35, 35, 21, 7, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, there should be one more term than your exponent because remember you start with 0. So now this is term 1 or term A, and this is term B. I'm trying to get c to the 4th power. So right here is a to the 7th power. This is a to the 6th power, a to the 5th power, a to the 4th power. It's looking like right here. This is b to the 0 power, b to the 1st power, b to the 2nd power, b to the 3rd power. It's looking like we're looking right here. Because see, c is going to be to the 4th power right here. And then d is going to be to the 3rd power right here. So that's going to give me I'm going to have 35 times, now don't be tricked because it's 2c. So that's going to be 2c to the 4th power. So that's 2 to the 4th power. That's going to be 16 c to the 4th. And then b, that's going to be 3d to the 3rd power. So that's 3 to the 3rd power. That's going to be 27 times d to the 3rd. And then I've got my Pascal's number, and then I've got my two coefficient numbers. So I need to multiply 35 times 16 times 27. Yuck. Really thinking about letting you use a calculator. Let me cheat just a little bit because it is way too early in the morning. Okay, so I got 35 times 16 is 0, 3. That is 18, 19, 20, 21. And then got 0, 1 times 5 is 5. And then 1 times 3 is 3. That's going to be 560. I need to multiply that times 27. That's 15,120. So that's my answer, and that's my answer. Fun times, huh? Oh, they did one that everybody's complaining about. Oh my gosh, wham. So I have 1 half x minus 5. I want to get the inverse. Well, let me write it like this a little bit. So I got y equals 1 half x minus 5. Right? So what I want is x by itself. So I'm going to first, I want to get x by itself. So first I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So that's y plus 5 equals 1 half x. I need to get rid of the 1 half. So how do I get rid of the 1 half? Well, I do the opposite of what 1 half is. 1 half, so multiplying by 1 half, right? Well, I'll just think about 1 half. What's the opposite of 1 half? If I multiply times 2, because 2 times 1 half is 1, they cancel each other out. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. So that's 2y distribute plus 10 equals x. And then I'm going to switch y and x. So I'm going to get y equals 2x plus 10. And that's the inverse. So what about this? Let's look at the next one. So this one, I'm just going to make this y equals 4x to the third plus 1. First thing I'm going to do is subtract 1 from both sides. I'm going to have y minus 1 equals 4 times x to the third. Next thing I'm going to do is divide by 4. So now I have y minus 1 over 4 equals x to the third power. And then I'm going to take this cube root of both sides. So that gives me, so now I'm going to switch. That takes care of the x over the cube, x cubed, and it's just x. So that's x equals the cube root of y minus 1 over 4. I'm just going to switch them. So y equals the cube root of x minus 1 over 4. And last but not least, I have y equals negative 7x plus 3. So first I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. I'm going to get y minus 3 equals negative 7x. I'm going to divide by 7 on both sides. So I'm going to get y minus 3 over negative 7 equals x. And then I'm going to switch positions. So y equals x minus 3 over negative 7. I'm just going to make that negative x minus 3 over 7. That's how you do the inverses. I don't really think it's that complicated, but whatever. What do I know? Okay, fun times. Let's knock this out. So before, I'm going to draw light green, and then we're going to draw dark green. So 2 sine 2x plus 2. So what's the amplitude? Well, amplitude in this case is 2, because it's 2 right there. So that tells me, at least initially, that my graph is going to reach that high and reach that low. And then the frequency says 2. So that says from 0 to 2 pi, I should get two cycles. So another one cycle would ordinarily go dot, dot, oops, be in the middle, then here, in the middle, and then there. That's kind of one cycle. Well, that ain't where we were trying to be. So we want 2 cycles. So I need 5 points. So I'm starting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that's one cycle and it's all within pi. And then here's another cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm not going to require you to do all that, but I'd appreciate it if you did. Which just goes the opposite. Okay, so that's without this. So now, I said the dark was going to be the first one. So now, what I'm going to do now is we're going to move up 2 for every point. So here's my point. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I get rid of this. That's my answer. See, the graph moved up 2. So now we're going to do this one. And I'm going to try to do what I said I was going to do and make it light green. So what's the amplitude? It's not -3. Remember, it's absolute value, so it's 3. I forgot to put the period. This tells me the period is pi. And it's both on both, so we're just going to, it's pi. Because the period equals 2 pi over your frequency. And my frequency is 2. So 2 pi over 2, the 2's cancel off and I got pi. All right, so anyway, so that's my amplitude, that's my period. The next thing I know, that negative means that I'm going to have a reflection. So ordinarily, cosine starts up high, it's the midline, low, midline, high. Well, because of the negative, I'm going to flip it. So we're going to start low. And what's the amplitude? 3. So I'm going to start down here. And then I'm going to hit this. And then I'm going to hit the high point. I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit that. Now, how do I know what's going on? Because the frequency is 2. So I need to fit my 5 points within pi. I'm going to do it again. All right, that's what I got right now. That is -3 cosine of 2x minus 1, right? That's what I got. So now it says the graph moves down 1. So all of those points are going to move down 1. So right here, it's going to go from right here. Right here, it's going to go right here. Here's going to go right here. Right here is going to go right here. Right here is going to go right there. This one is going to go here. This one is going to go here. It's going to go here. This one's 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 going to go here. Now, I'm going to get rid of the light blue graph. And then we're just going to draw in the dark. And that's that. All right. So next, function within a function, composition of functions. The innermost function you work with first. So g of x is x squared. So I'm going to have f of x squared. Now in this function, wherever there's an x, I'm going to replace it with an x squared. So that's going to be 2x squared minus 7. Done. It's real hard, wasn't it? So the innermost function is f of x. F of x is that one. So I'm going to have g of 2x minus 7. So wherever there's an x, I'm going to replace it. Well, this right here means I got to do FOIL. So I need a little room to do FOIL. So let's do it right here. So I got 2x minus 7 times 2x minus 7. So FOIL says first 2x times 2x, that's 4x squared. 2x times a negative 7, that's negative 14x. Negative 7 times 2x is negative 14x. And then negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49. So the answer here is 4x squared minus, what's that, 28x plus 49. So now right here, again, the innermost function. So I'm going to take g of g of negative 2. So g of negative 2, that's x squared. So negative 2 x squared. That's not a good way to do it. That is g of negative 2 is negative 2 to the second power. So that's just positive 4 because the negative and the negative cancel each other out. It's going to be f of 4. And f is that, so that's going to be 2 times 4 minus 7. That's going to be 8 minus 7. That is 1. F of 5. Okay, so g of f of 5. F of 5. I just plug in 5 here. So it's going to be g of 2 times 5 minus 7. 2 times 5 minus 7. That's 10 minus 7. That's g of 3. So what's g of 3? That's going to be g of 3 equals 3 squared. So the answer is 9. And then finally, I've got f of x of f of x. So f of x is 2x minus 7. And I replace this with the x. So that's going to be 2 times 2x minus 7 minus 7. So now I distribute. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2x, well, 2 times a negative 7 is negative 14. And then I got minus 7 over here. Well, an x ain't getting messed with. But negative 14 minus 7 is negative 21. And that's my answer. All right. So let's look at our unit circle and call this a day. Unit circle. So cosine of pi over 6. Cosine cosine of pi over 6? That is square root of 3 over 2. What was good to note is that that is positive. That is a positive value. So now I need to look around my unit circle to find where cosine is the positive square root of 3 over 2. Here? Nope. Here? Nope. There. See, cosine. So now I have to think of what's the representation of this thing right here. Well, I know this is 2 pi. I know this is pi. So the way they want us to relate them is pi plus theta, pi minus theta, or 2 pi minus theta. Well, if I'm right here and I'm trying to get to this point right here, this is pi minus pi over 6, or pi minus theta. See, if I go this way from pi, that angle right there, that's 30 degrees. See, I know because of that. So 180 goes to 150 minus 30 degrees. So pi minus pi over 6. Now if I'm trying to get to this point right here, right, where again my stuff is negative, that's 180 plus 30. So then this one is going to be pi plus pi over 6, or theta. Well, neither of those are the one I want. I want this one. Well, that's 2 pi minus 30 degrees, so minus theta, or pi over 6. So that's my answer for the first one. Is that, I guess you could also say it like this, that if I said cosine 30 equals that, so then what's cosine of 150? That's negative square root of 3 over 2. What about cosine of 210? That's negative square root of 3 over 2. So then the last one has to be 330. And that's positive square root of 3 over 2. So I want 330. So which one is going to give me 330? 180 plus 30, 180 minus 30, or 360 minus 30. Is that going to give me 330? Yes. So my answer is 2 pi minus pi over 3. Or sorry, pi over 6, because that's what I started with. So not all this. This is my answer. So now let's go back and look at sine. Sine of 5 pi 4. 5 pi 4 is right here. So I want sine of this. That's a negative square root of 2 over 2. So where does sine equal negative like that? Let's see, sine. Nope, it's not negative. Nope, it's not negative. There it is. It's 315. So what is that? Kind of anticlimactic. Is 2 pi minus pi over 4. And that is all of them. I miss anything? No, I don't think so.